Have you ever seen a marriage proposal just completely fly off the rails? I mean, so spectacularly wrong that it basically becomes a perfect guide on what not to do? Well, today, we're diving into exactly that with Anton Chekhov's hilarious one-act play, The Proposal.
I mean, really, think about it for a second. What's the number one rule? Is it, try to be romantic? Maybe don't insult your future father-in-law. Or, and this feels like a big one, maybe, just maybe, try to focus on the actual person you're asking to marry you. Well, hold on to your hats, because the folks in this play, they're about to smash every single one of those rules, and then some. It's a disaster, and it is glorious.
So, here's our game plan for unraveling this hilarious mess. First, we're going to set the incredibly awkward scene. Then, we'll introduce you to our trio of hotheads. After that, we'll watch them battle it out over property, and then we'll dig into what this play is really trying to say about marriage. And finally, we'll wrap up with a few questions to get your brain working.
All right, first up, let's set the scene. Before we get to all the yelling, we've got to understand the world these characters are living in.
Okay, the first thing you absolutely have to know is that The Proposal is a farce. Chekhov wrote it back in the late 1880s, and the whole point of a farce is to be completely over the top. The characters are ridiculous, the situations are totally improbable, and it's all built for laughs. So yeah, don't go in expecting some deep, realistic drama. Expect pure, unadulterated chaos.
So, the curtain opens and our story kicks off when this wealthy landowner, Ivan Lomov, shows up at his neighbor's house. And he is dressed to the nines. I'm talking full evening wear, white gloves, the whole shebang. He is a walking bundle of nerves, and his neighbor, Stepan Chubakov, instantly thinks he's there to ask for money. But oh no, Lomov's request is way, way bigger than that.
So you're probably wondering, why does he want to get married? Well, let me tell you, it has absolutely nothing to do with love. His logic is just cold and practical. For starters, he's 35. He thinks he needs a quiet, stable life because he's always having heart palpitations and anxiety attacks. And he sized up the neighbor's daughter, Natalia, and decided she'll do. Why? Well, she's a great housekeeper, she's not bad to look at, and she's educated. Seriously, it's not a love letter, it's a pros and cons list, more like a business merger than a marriage proposal.
All right, so who are these people at the absolute center of this whirlwind? Let's meet our quarrelsome trio. First, let's talk about our groom-to-be, Ivan Lomov. The play calls him large and hearty but very suspicious. And this guy is a total hypochondriac. I mean, he's constantly freaking out about his heart palpitations, his foot falling asleep, his eyebrows twitching, you name it. He craves the quiet, stable life he thinks marriage will bring, but his anxious, argumentative personality is pretty much guaranteed to destroy any chance of that.
And then there's Natalia Stepanovna, the woman at the center of this romance. She's 25, and yeah, she's educated and a good housekeeper. But the one thing you really need to know about her, she is unbelievably stubborn. She just loves a good argument and cannot, will not, ever admit she's wrong, not even for a second.
And rounding out our trio is Dad, Stepan Chubakov. Now, when he hears Lomov is there to propose, he is over the moon. But is it because his daughter found love? Oh, no, no, no. It's because this marriage is a fantastic business deal. It's a perfect match between two wealthy land-owning families. He could not care less about love. He's all about that bottom line.
Okay, we've met the players. The stage is set. And believe me, the conflict is about to explode. And oh boy, does it deliver. This proposal gets completely shot down not just once, but twice by some of the silliest arguments you can possibly imagine.
The first fight kicks off over, wait for it, a tiny piece of land. Lomov is trying to be smooth, and he casually mentions my oxen meadows. Well, Natalia hears this, and she just pounces on it. This small, pretty useless piece of land that sits between their two big estates suddenly becomes the most important thing in the world.
And just like that, poof, the whole marriage proposal is completely forgotten. All that matters now is proving who owns those meadows. They start insulting each other's families, they're calling each other names, and Lomov's anxiety just goes through the roof. This is just a knockdown, drag-out fight over pure ego, and neither of them is going to back down.
So Lomov storms out in a huff. But then Natalia finds out he was actually there to propose, and she just has a complete meltdown. She screams at her father to bring him back right now. You'd think, okay, now they'll get it together, right? Wrong. The piece lasts for about 30 seconds before another fight blows up.
This time, the thing that sends them into a rage is, get this, they're hunting dogs. Lomov starts bragging about his prize dog Guess that he paid a fortune for, 125 rubles. But Natalia, of course, she immediately jumps in saying her dog Squeezer is heaps better, even though he was way cheaper. They start fighting over whose dog has a better pedigree, whose dog has a better jaw. It is absolutely ridiculous, and once again, the proposal grinds to a halt.
Okay, so what is going on here? Why are these people so completely nuts? What was Chekhov actually trying to say with all this madness? Well, that brings us right to the heart of the play, its central theme.
This right here, this quote really gets to the core of the whole thing. See, this play isn't really about love. It's a giant joke aimed at the rich, land-owning class back in 19th century Russia. For these folks, marriage wasn't about finding a soulmate. It was a business transaction, a way to join two estates together, grow your wealth, and climb the social ladder.
And that's the key. That's why, even after all the screaming, the insults, and Lomov literally passing out from anxiety, the proposal still manages to happen. Because in their world, the economic good sense of it all is more important than anything else. It's more important than personal happiness, compatibility, or even just basic human decency. The deal must be closed.
All right, now that we've unpacked all that chaos, I want to throw a few questions your way. Let's get you thinking.
I mean, really, think about it. Why do they get so heated over this little patch of grass called Oxen Meadows? Is it really about the land itself, or is it about something deeper, like pride, family honor, and that powerful, stubborn need to never, ever admit that you might be wrong?
Okay, next question. Her dad calls her a lovesick cat. But, based on what we see, is she really? She fights with Lomov constantly, but the second she realizes she might miss out on a proposal, she has a full-blown panic attack. So, is that real love, or is it more like a fear of missing out on a really good financial and social opportunity?
And that brings us to the big one. After all the awful things they've said, after he's insulted her, her family, her dog, why does she just scream, yes, yes, I'm willing, the second he finally manages to pop the question? What does that tell you about the kind of pressure she was under as a woman in that society, and what she really valued?
So in the end, they actually get engaged. And how do they celebrate this beautiful moment? By immediately launching into another argument, of course. It's hilarious, but Chekhov is also giving us a little wink, right? He's leaving us with this perfect picture of their future marriage, just an endless cycle of petty fights. The proposal might be accepted, but you just know the battle is far from over.